Yo, Romeo, Chapter 10, Part 1. The next morning, as soon as I entered the lobby at school, I heard loud, high pitched screaming. My bladder clenched. I turned around and around to see what kind of horrible thing had just happened and came face to face with Izzy and a crowd of kids stampeding toward me. They surrounded me, cheering. Izzy yanked me into a bear hug, shouting, "I told you so! I told you so!" The casting notice had just been posted, and the drama nerds who had been waiting all night to find out which parts they would play had just learned that I'd been cast in the leading role. I was being passed around like a hot potato, getting hugs from all my new best friends, smushed their faces against mine. All the girls pulled me close, put their arms around my neck, and took selfies of us. I felt like a rock star might feel surrounded by fans and paparazzi. It was shocking and a little smothering. And just when my heart started pounding crazy fast, my palms got slick and my knees were about to turn to jelly, my teacher slash director slash bodyguard, Bob, broke through the mob and saved me. All right, back off, kids, back off. You all should be on your way to homerooms. I'll see you after school for our first company meeting and script distribution. The cast and crew kids stood there staring at me all starry-eyed. Bob clapped his hands together loudly. Let's go, let's go. Show me how well you can follow direction and beat it. With that, they all scattered, except Izzy. She gave me one last hug and whispered in my ear, "Told you so, you're gonna be great." When the mom was all gone, I noticed Brooklyn over by the cast list announcement looking at me. When we made eye contact, she quickly turned away and stalked off down the hall. I must admit, it felt sweet. Heading to my homeroom, Bob said, "First of all, I have to apologize for the feeding frenzy. Mr. Ramsey and I should have waited for your answer before we posted the casting notice. We were just so sure about you. I guess we jumped the gun. Sorry." I smiled. It's okay. He cleared his throat. "So, did you think it over? Are you gonna be our Juliet, the star of your Romeo?" He stopped, turned to me with his hands up, and clasped them under his chin in a prayerful pose. "Before you say anything, please say yes. Please. You're the most exciting talent I've ever worked with in my life. Seriously, I'm talking semi-professional theater, college production, and all my years of teaching middle school. I've never had the opportunity to work with a voice like yours. So I'm begging. I swear I'll get down on my knees if I must. Just please say yes." Bob's overacting was funny and endearing, and I decided to end the suspense. I said, "Yes, okay, I'll do it." Mom and Dad had been distant toward each other this morning. I knew Mom would hold a grudge against Dada for breaching their united front and not pressuring me into doing the play. I thought saying yes would solve everything. So I did. Bob leapt into the air, punching with his fist. "Yeah, all right." His excitement was contagious, and his confidence in me gave me a glimmer of hope, a belief in myself. The rest of the school day was a blur. I could barely concentrate in any of my classes. Kids were congratulating me wherever I went. Since I was now the queen of the drama nerds, I had a place to sit in the cafeteria. All the chatter was about the play, which none of us knew much about, except that it was based on Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Little added bonus. This is my William Shakespeare pencil. Okay. Izzy said there was a good movie version starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. "I'll rent it and you can all come over Saturday and we could watch together." High fives all around. I didn't mean to, really, but I looked over at the Cell Bells table. Brooklyn wasn't there. Haley Joanne's crew was crowded over her shoulder looking at something on her phone. She caught my eye and winked and gave me a thumbs up. And I was like, huh? But tried to eke out a smile and tried to wink back at her, which was totally awkward. I mean, who winks except people in breath mint commercials? I couldn't help but wonder where Brooklyn was. I knew she was in school because I saw her this morning by the casting notice, but she wasn't in our homeroom or language arts. It was odd that she wasn't seated next to her new bestie, Haley Joanne, like she had been every day since getting her phone. Something told me there was trouble in paradise, but I didn't have much time to think about it because Boss Chloe, the stage manager, ran up to the table and rasped in her blue hair and sandpaper voice, "Hey, did you see YouTube yet, Toots?" Everyone who had phones pulled them out and started typing. I looked around to make sure teachers on lunch duty weren't watching, but guess what? They were on their phones too. Boss Chloe sat next to me, shoved her phone in front of my face, and said, "Check this out." It was me on screen singing Halo in a video shot at the audition. I was like so amazed face, eyes popping out, mouth so wide open that flies could zip in and out. I don't think I took a breath while I watched. My heart was spinning like the mixer that I used to make cake batter, and I began to feel lightheaded and woozy. My palms began to sweat. My mouth filled up with that sour saliva that comes right before you greet your guts. I covered my mouth, bolted out of my seat, and dashed to the restroom. I made it to the stall just in time to heave my tater tots, chicken nuggets, and apple slices into the toilet bowl. Boss Chloe, Izzy, and Braces Chloe hurried in behind me. Boss Chloe took charge, ordering the other two girls to wet paper towels with cool water so she could press them to the back of my neck. When I was able to get to the sink to swoosh water around and spit until my mouth felt clean, I asked, "How did I wind up on YouTube?" Boss Chloe said, "My little birds told me Haley Joanne uploaded it last night." Haley Joanne? Seriously? Chirp is by the lockers is that HJ and Brooklyn had a nasty argument about it. Haley Joanne went and did it anyway. Izzy said, "That's so stray. Who would have thought Haley Joanne would do anything nice for anyone except the zombies who follow her around like zombies?" "Please believe," Boss Chloe said as she patted another cool paper towel on my neck, "she did it to be monocular." I peeled off the paper towel. It was starting to drip down my neck. "What?" "Monocular. You know, having a monopoly on being popular." "Did you just make that up?" "Yep, I got a gift." Boss Chloe hiked up her cargo pants. "Seriously though, Mango, your audition is the talk of the school, and Haley Joanne having it on video makes her the Big Mac without the Spanx. So of course she uploaded it. She probably wants to be your BFBD. I felt lame asking, but I did. BFBD? All three girls clued me in. Best friend by default. Boss Chloe said, "Everybody knows you're riding solo since you turned Brooklyn's phone into a submarine. So HJ's gonna slide in and be relief pitcher, at least until the musical's over and the buzz around you dies down." Izzy agreed. "Yeah, she'll brand that she was the one who made it all happen when I was the one who brought you to the audition in the first place." Braces Chloe was leaning against the door checking her phone. She suddenly blurted out, "Wow, you've already got over 600 views on YouTube, Mango. You're the biggest thing to happen to this school since Soy Taco Tuesdays." While they were all congrats hugging me, my stomach started to feel sour again. All the confidence Bob transfused into me had been flushed down the sewer with my vomit. Now that so many people knew about my being cast in the play, what if I failed? If I was a big flop, the whole YouTube-verse would know. The bell rang. My head began to ache, so instead of going to my next class, I headed for the school nurse's office. I needed a break and wanted to lie down in peace and quiet so I could get it together. Mrs. Totter, the nurse, was always sympathetic to girls with any kind of stomachache, so she let me lie down until I said I felt better, which was just after the school bell rang. On the way to the Yo Romeo company meeting, I started beating myself up. Was I insane? Should I have never said yes? I had to hold on to the lockers while I walked down the hall. Stage fright was affecting my entire body, and I hadn't even made it to the stage yet. If I couldn't walk into the auditorium on my own 2 feet, how was I ever going to dance and sing or even speak in front of an audience? An audience mostly made up of students ready to crank me through the meat grinder and launch tomatoes, pudding cups, and anything else they could sneak out of the cafeteria. I was just about to turn and rush out of the building when Izzy appeared and looped her arm through mine. I know what you're thinking and you're not taking off. I shook my head, but she didn't buy it. Don't try to smoke screen me, rookie. I can tell by the death stare in your eyes, your dry lips, and the way you're trembling like you just got a brain freeze from a Slurpee. You're terrified. Am I right or am I right? You're right. Of course I am. But listen, you don't have anything to worry about. This is just a company meeting. Bob will probably start off by talking about the show, and then Mr. Ramsey will play a few songs with Bob singing along. That's always hilarious. Finally, they'll introduce the cast, calling us up on stage one by one, handing out scripts, and telling us to read the entire thing over the weekend, not just the scenes we're in. Then everyone will rush off home to count their lines and highlight their scripts. Finito. So, easy peasy. Quit being cheesy. With that, Izzy led me into the auditorium and my life in the theater began. Come back for part 2.